Howdy folks, KC LaCourse coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada with another video showcase of Hearts of the West. It's cowboy poetry, Western music, and a whole lot of fun. So stick around, I'm sure you're going to enjoy the showcase. Now I always like to kick it off with one of my own poems. And the inspiration for this poem was I was thinking about all the pioneer women and men and people looking for a new beginning, coming from the east to the west. And I thought about the path that they walked on and how so many people walked that same path, looking for a new life. And the poem is titled 1,000 Campfires Following the Sun by KC LaCourse. Women, the backbone of a nation, looking for a new world with daughters, husbands, and sons, driving their wagons and walking with their guns, always headed west, and more will come. 1,000 campfires following the sun, footprints of ghosts along the trail through rain and heat, and more will come. 1,000 campfires following the sun. Bones lay bleached, once alive, now done. Hearts lay broken with every word spoken. At night, dreams that weigh a ton. Counting the stars, 1,000 campfires following the sun. All right, folks, that's it. Let's get on with the showcase. I have some great performers waiting to entertain you. And you know what I'm going to say. I'll see y'all here next week for another video showcase of Hearts of the West. See you next Tuesday.
Rocky Sullivan here. First of all, I want to thank KC LaCourse for doing this Hearts of the West program and keeping the spirit of the West alive and the cowboy poetry alive. This poem I'm going to do, I send out to my ranching friends, because they can probably relate to where this poem's at. And this is called Old West Memories. You know, the Old West towns are gone now. Just memories beside the road. And the buildings are just skeletons and the adobe slowly erode. But the memories still linger if you stop and don't drive by. As you walk along the streets, just listen. Did you hear a baby cry? A little further down the boardwalk, it might be a trick of light. But you may swear you saw the reflection from Lady of the Night. And the wind may stir the dust a bit as you move on down the street. But was it really just the wind or the stirring of 1,000 cattle's feet? And if you listen close enough, you may hear piano keys. These Old West towns are still alive and the buildings hold the memories. But the Old West towns are slowly fading, for the young folks have moved away to get a job in some big city where life is good, they say. And the Old West towns of yesterday helped make this country strong. And if you listen closely, you may hear some drover's song. The Old West towns were the centers of the ranching communities, and the bloodlines of a nation can be found in their memories. The chapel at the end of town, it still stands strong and tall. If you step inside and listen, you'll hear the strongest memories of all. Now you may hear the memories of life and death and love. You may hear the choir singing its praise to God above. And the little graveyard, long untended, it rests upon the hill. Its markers listing quiet, just one more spot to fill. As you walk amongst the headstones, you see mothers, sons, and wives. You see heroes from all the wars who gladly gave their lives. But what you see and what you hear is not as important as what you feel. And do not discount those feelings, for they are very, very real. For these are the memories of those from long ago. They're just longing for your company, maybe someone you should know. So if you see an old west town on the prairie or in the evening glow, stop and share the memories of a time from long ago. Now I guess I'm supposed to answer a couple of questions. The first one is, when did I realize I was supposed to do cowboy poetry? It's a long story, so I'll do my best to keep it short. But it was about the mid-1980s, and I was cowboying up in Colorado, and cowboy poetry was really taking off back then. And so I started dabbling in it. I've always loved words. I love rhyme, and so I started dabbling with it then and writing. Actually, I didn't write things down. It's a long story. But in those days, like some cowboys, I spent a lot of my time in the bars. And whenever I'd see a young lady that got my attention, I didn't know how to talk to girls. I was scared to death of girls. And one night I saw this lady I really wanted to talk to, and I started spewing poetry, and her little heart went pitter-patter, and life was fun. And I realized, hey, this is pretty good stuff. But anyway, so it started in the 80s, and then I kind of drifted. I went a different direction for a while. And then, I've had a lot of folks encourage me, a lot of good folks. But in 2015, Jeff Dawson he took over. He didn't start. He took over the National Cowboy Poetry Rodeo, and he invited me to participate. And I did, and that was actually my first time performing live in front of an audience, and that in itself is a whole different story. So I guess in answer to the question, I originally started about 1985, but I didn't pursue it. And I guess the second question is my favorite movie quote, and there's actually two of them from the same movie, and it's called Open Range. And when the bad guy and the good guy are faced off, and the good guy, I think it was Kevin Costner, says, "Are you the man that shot my friend?" And of course the bad guy bragged, and Kevin Costner pulled his gun, killed him, no discussion, just ended it right there. And I just thought that was a great scene. But my favorite line, and I'm sure I'm going to get some eye rolls here from the ladies, don't take any offense, but the cowboy and the lady are riding off at the end of the movie, and they're discussing something, and Kevin Costner says, "Now how's this going to work if you don't do what I say?" And again, great line. My wife laughs about it too, and it's the same line I use on her. How's this going to work if you don't do what I say? And of course, we laugh about it. So anyway, guys, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the poetry.
Oh, the mailboy's life is a lonesome life, riding the hills and the plains, and there ain't no pill in the doctor's book to cure the lonesome pain. I'll ride on time, I'll stay on time, if the lonely heart don't fail, and I ain't got time to talk to you now, 'cause I got to carry the mail. Old paint will straddle old bald, and I'll get along down the trail, and I ain't got time to talk to you now, 'cause I got to carry the mail. All the moon is light, your eyes are bright, and I'd love to tell you a tale, but I ain't got time to talk to you now, 'cause I got to carry the mail. If Uncle Sam would let me be, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd ride on down the old mail trail and find me a pal or two. There's one that keeps on deviling me with a chatter and her song, had time to talk to her now, I'd talk to her all night long. So hold old paint, straddle old ball, and I'll get along down the trail. I ain't got time to talk to you now, 'cause I got to carry the mail. The mood is light, your eyes are bright, and I'd love to tell you a tale. But I ain't got time to talk to you now, 'cause I got to carry the mail. All the mail must go in the wind and the snow, the sunshine and the hail. I ain't got time to talk to you now, 'cause I got to carry the mail. All the moon is light, your eyes are bright, and I'd love to tell you a tale. But I ain't got time to talk to you now, I got to carry the mail. So hold old paint, I'll straddle old ball, I'll get along down the trail. I ain't got time to talk to you now, 'cause I got to carry the mail. Hold old paint, I'll straddle old ball, and I'll get along down the trail. I ain't got time to talk to you now, 'cause I got to carry the mail.
Thanks, Casey, for having me on the showcase today. I really appreciate everything you're doing for Cowboy Poetry and the promotion of Western music. I guess I'll answer the first question about music. I started playing the lap dulcimer and learning to dance, clogging and flat-footing when I was about 7 years old. My mom played the dulcimer and danced, and I just kind of picked it up from her, and was always interested in bluegrass and old-time music from the Appalachian Mountains. And I then learned to play guitar and sing when I was about 16, and the yodeling for me is the newest thing I guess I picked up. I've been doing that for about 5 years, and that's kind of what brought me to the IWMA and learning more about Western music. My favorite movie is probably Quigley Down Under, and there's a lot of quotes I love from that movie. One of them is, "This ain't Dodge City, and you ain't no Wild Bill Hickok." Thank you very much for having me on.